All right, we're going to reconvene now as the Common Council, call the meeting to order and start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please call the roll.
Alderman Strelchak?
Here.
Alderman Talaco? Alderman Meyer? Alderman Hancher?
Here.
Alderman Bach?
Here.
Alderman Parrish?
Here.
Alderman Bratt?
Here.
Alderman Gebhardt?
Here.
And Mayor Nurbin.
Here. First up, we have a public hearing for Ordinance 2024-1667, an ordinance amending Chapter 58 of the Mequon Municipal Code related to WDNR MS4 stormwater permit conditions. This was recommended by the Planning Commission on July 22nd, recommended by the Public Works Committee on August 14th, and was a first reading last month at the Common Council, also on August 14th. Is there a motion to go into public hearing?
Move to go into public hearing.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor of going into public hearing, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are now in public hearing. Is there anyone here this evening who wishes to speak on the MS4 stormwater permitting? Hearing and seeing none, is there a motion to close public hearing?
Move to close.
Motion and a second. Second. All those in favor of closing, please say aye.
Aye.
We are back in a regular session. We'll now consider this ordinance. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Are there any comments or questions on the proposed ordinance? Alderman Strelchak.
Yeah, I had a question for Kristen, if she could come up to the mic. I told you it was coming. So,
Go ahead.
being in an HOA with 11 homes, the pond recertification gets to be a little burdensome every 5 years. And my question for you is who regulated the every 5 years? And then if so, is there another opportunity for maybe something that would cover the concern of the pond integrity, but not require maybe somebody with as high of expertise as an engineer to certify that, you know, there's no blockage, that nothing's really majorly changed, or go to maybe just a policy where every 10 years it's a major recertification, every 5 we had something that might be a little less burdensome on the residents. This was also to highlight beyond just my subdivision. When we went through this, I think it was 5 or 6 years ago, when this came back up, a couple people hadn't been doing it in a while, and there were tons of questions that were revolving around this. So it wasn't just my neighborhood that had questions, it was others as well. So this will be a good question for them.
The DNR requires that it be done every 5 years or every permit term. So that is a DNR regulation that is otherwise required. And they do already consider that. I mean, annually it should be inspected. So, you know, that is kind of the lesser one that doesn't have to be done by an engineer. Most stormwater management plans require an annual inspection at a minimum, and only require that to be done by a engineer or professional land surveyor every 5 years.
Okay, thank you.
Another unfunded mandate from the state.
And I will just notice, kind of parallel to the conversation we just had about private water trusts, part of the reason that it's required every 5 years is so that the HOA can plan, because there will be a point at which there are very expensive improvements that need to be done if they don't otherwise keep up. So it is partly in protection of the HOAs to make sure that they see what's coming and they do keep up on things as they move along, so that they don't have the sudden large capital cost to otherwise repair, remediate, or address it not meeting the city's stormwater regulations.
In the not so distant past, there was a HOA that shall remain nameless that needed to do a bunch of dredging. That was a surprise that maybe wasn't shouldn't have been a surprise, but
And to speak to the last part, we have significantly changed our process to make everyone aware of what the requirements are. Unfortunately, we ran into a scenario where a lot of developers had either gone defunct or otherwise gone under, and so the transition to HOAs were a messy one, and none of them were prepared for that initial certification. But knock on wood, we've gone through enough iterations now that that's really not the problem anymore. And we do work with those that find they are non-compliant to give them time to bring them into compliance, but we don't generally have the issues with not certifying like we did in the past.
Thank you.
Mr. City Attorney.
The also having had the benefit of beforehand, I did take a look, Alderman Strelchak. The 5-year requirement is not something that I can find expressly laid out in the statutes or administrative code. Instead, what the administrative code just generally says is that the department has to create these permits. And one of the requirements of the permits is to establish an inspection and process to ensure that they continue to work. But it's very vague beyond that. So there's not a whole lot of wiggle room other than our permit just says you have to inspect these once per permit term. Our permit term is 5 years, and that's where it comes from. The other thing I would remind you is that in most cases, in fact, that hope all cases, certainly all new development, we have stormwater maintenance easements in place and maintenance agreements in place that require the 5 years as well. So even if we change the code, the maintenance agreement would likewise still have that same requirement.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I think we have a motion and a second. There are no more questions. We'll call the question here. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? And that ordinance is adopted. Next on to personal appearances and public comment. Citizens wishing to address the council on any matter not on the agenda may do so at this time. If you desire to be heard on agenda items, you may be heard when that item is considered on the agenda. Please speak into the microphone at the podium. The time limit is 5 minutes. Is there anyone here this evening who wishes to speak? I think we have one speaker registered for an item that's not on the agenda. Lori O'Brien Wolf from 7717 North Boyd Way in Fox Point, Wisconsin, and wishes to speak. Please come forward.
Thank you so much. Nice to see all of you tonight. I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Lori O'Brien Wolf. I am the Republican candidate for the 23rd Assembly District, and just wanted to let you know what's going on with me. I was raised in Thiensville. I'm the youngest of 9 kids. My dad was an iron worker, and he literally did backbreaking work to make sure we were able to be raised in this great community. And I bring that up because I've been knocking doors in Thiensville and knocked a door of a high school classmate, and he lives down the road from where I grew up, and pointed to the house next door where someone had bought it and flipped it, and the house recently sold for like $400,000, and it was similar to the size of the house I grew up in, which was like a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bathroom. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm running for the assembly seat, is because I fear that that American dream is getting further and further out of reach for our children and grandchildren. And I know you were talking about the Mequon pool earlier. I learned how to swim at the Mequon pool. I grew up going to the Weinberg Library, and so they're wonderful resources for the community. And my priority will be, if I'm elected, the physical, mental, and financial health of our children and grandchildren. I mean, we all say that we want to leave a better future for our kids than what we had, and I think we're going in the wrong direction. But if I'm elected, I look forward to working with all of you and having an open door and allowing you access to the majority caucus in the assembly. So thanks so much.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here this evening who wishes to speak on any item not on the agenda? Hearing and seeing none, we'll move on to public officials' reports. I have one proclamation for Rail Safety Week, and so I'll get that out of the way. City of Mequon mayoral proclamation for National C-Tracks Think Train Week. 2,192 rail grade crossing collisions resulted in 765 personal injuries and were responsible for 248 fatalities in the United States during 2023. 1,378 trespassing casualties have occurred in the United States, resulting in 663 pedestrians being killed and another 715 injured while trespassing on railroad property rights-of-way during 2023. Educating and informing the public about rail safety, reminding the public that railroad rights-of-way are private property, enhancing public awareness of the dangers associated with railway grade crossings, ensuring pedestrians and motorists are looking and listening while near railways, and obeying established traffic laws will reduce the number of avoidable fatalities and injuries caused by incidents involving trains and citizens. The International Association of Chiefs of Police, National Operation Lifesaver, United States Department of Transportation, and all local, state, county, and railroad law enforcement officers, first responders, and railroad corporations commit to partnering together in an effort to educate at a national level all aspects of railroad safety, to enforce applicable laws, and support National C-Tracks Think Train Week. Accordingly, I, Andy Nurbin, Mayor of the City of Mequon, on behalf of all citizens of the city, proclaim September 23rd to 29th, 2024 to be National C-Tracks Think Train Week, and I encourage all citizens to recognize the importance of rail safety education. In addition to that, I'd just like to thank everyone who came out to Taste of Mequon here over the weekend, just out in front of City Hall here. We had one of our better bands ever. The weather was fantastic, and a good time was had by all. So if I missed you there, I'm sorry. Hopefully I'll catch you next year. And our city administrator is not with us tonight. He's ill, but we have our assistant administrator. And Justin, do you have any announcements to make?
Nothing to add tonight, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on then to the consent agenda. We have 10 sets of boards and commission minutes or various other public reports. Is there a motion on the consent agenda?
Move approval.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? And the consent agenda is approved. We have no ordinances this evening. We have, however, have 5 resolutions to consider. The first is Resolution 4137, a resolution approving the First Amendment to a license agreement for the location of equipment upon the cellular tower located at 11300 North Buntrock Avenue with Sprintcom LLC of Overland Park, Kansas. This was recommended earlier this evening by the Finance and Personnel Committee. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion on the cell phone contract renewal? Hearing and seeing none. It's monetary, so let's please call the roll.
Alderman Strelchak,
Aye.
Alderman Talaco,
Aye.
Alderman Meyer,
Aye.
Alderman Hancher,
Aye.
Alderman Bach,
Aye.
Alderman Parrish,
Aye.
Alderman Bratt,
Aye.
and Alderman Gebhardt.
Aye.
And that resolution is adopted. Moving on to Resolution 4138, a resolution approving an amendment for completion of a citywide community survey with ETC Institute of Olathe, Kansas, in the amount of $23,850. Recommendation forthcoming from Public Works this evening.
Mayor and Common Council, Resolution 4138 was discussed and voted on at Public Welfare. It was approved, and such I make a motion to approve.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the survey? We talked about it a little bit at Committee of the Wholes. If there's any other questions, we can get them out now. Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Alderman Talaco,
Aye.
Alderman Meyer,
Aye.
Alderman Hancher,
Aye.
Alderman Bach,
Aye.
Alderman Parrish,
Aye.
Alderman Bratt,
Aye.
Alderman Gebhardt,
Aye.
and Alderman Strelchak.
Aye.
And that resolution is also adopted. Moving on, Resolution 4139, a resolution amending Resolution number 4026, approving a state municipal financial agreement and authorizing a state municipal maintenance agreement with the Wisconsin Department of Transportation in connection with the installation of a sidewalk on Mequon Road between Wauwatosa and Swan Roads. Recommendation forthcoming from Public Works.
Public Works approved of that, so I make the motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion on this item? May recall we voted on this about a year ago, but we had to hold off on the SMMA portion because of some unfavorable terms buried in the terms and conditions that was, caught between our city engineer and attorney that would have left us on the hook for all the state's drainage problems. So good catch, and glad we were able to get that ironed out and taken out of the SMMA. Now we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, please call the roll.
Alderman Meyer. Alderman Hancher.
Aye.
Alderman Bach.
Aye.
Alderman Parrish.
Aye.
Alderman Bratt.
Aye.
Alderman Gebhardt.
Aye.
Alderman Strelchuk.
Aye.
And Alderman Telako.
Aye.
That too is adopted. On to Resolution 4140, a resolution approving a state municipal agreement with the Wisconsin Department of Transportation for installation of a sidewalk on Wauwatosa Road between Mequon and Donjas Bay Roads. Recommendation forthcoming from Public Works.
Public Works approved of this, so I move the motion 4140.
Second.
Motion and a second. Are there any questions related to this item? Hearing, just to clarify for the public, there are sections of sidewalk there. Now we'll just be completing all of them so they actually connect all the way from Mequon Road to Donjas Bay Road. Be a nice benefit for the public who is trying to walk on them today. If there are no further comments or questions, Alderman Meyer.
I just want to say that there are a number of people that had contacted me in the past about getting that connection done so that they can have a walking path that goes straight down to the Civic Center, and it goes straight down over to the public market and all those areas over the airport. And so it was kind of pish-posh and trying to get over there for them. So there'll be a few people that'll be happy when this passes.
Agreed. Any other comments on this item? If not, please call the roll.
Alderman Hancher.
Aye.
Alderman Bach.
Aye.
Alderman Parrish.
Aye.
Alderman Bratt.
Aye.
Alderman Gebhardt.
Aye.
Alderman Strelchuk.
Aye.
Alderman Telako.
Aye.
And Alderman Meyer.
Aye.
And finally, Resolution 4141, a resolution approving an amended memorandum of understanding between the City of Mequon and the Village of Brown Deer, authorizing the inclusion of construction layout services for a joint county line road improvement project to increase the total costs in the amount of $11,900. Recommendation forthcoming from Public Works.
It was approved, and I remove the motion 4141.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions from the council on this item? Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Alderman Bach.
Aye.
Alderman Parrish.
Aye.
Alderman Bratt.
Aye.
Alderman Gebhardt.
Aye.
Alderman Strelchuk.
Aye.
Alderman Telako.
Aye.
Alderman Meyer.
Aye.
And Alderman Hancher.
Aye.
That too is adopted. We have no specified unfinished business from prior meetings, no specified new business. We do have one potential closed session item, a public safety building and pool site analysis for possible uses and/or acquisition of sites, including 11015 North Market Street. The Common Council may convene into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin Statute 19.85, Prin 1, Prin E, for the purpose of deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session, and then may reconvene into open session to take such actions as it deems appropriate. Is there a motion to go into closed session?
Motion to go into closed session.
Second.
Motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Alderman Parrish.
Aye.
Alderman Bratt,
Aye.
Alderman Gebhardt,
Aye.
Alderman Alderman Strelchak,
Aye.
Alderman Talaco,
Aye.
Alderman Meyer, Alderman Hansher,
Aye.
Alderman Bach,
Aye.
and Mayor Nerpen.
Aye. We will now convene in the closed session, and I do not believe we will be coming back into open session, so I'll say goodnight to the audience at home.